Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today I'm here with a repeat guest. We got my man, Justin Spears.
Seriously, most times I leave the house, I have a completely irrational, negative experience with another human. What's going on? People are trying to fight me. Like, I'm a pretty big guy, and I grew up a big guy, so I used to be like, whatever, I'll give people a good whooping if they get my way. But this guy, I was like, nah, he's got a gun or something.
I don't think, in the 7 years that I've been on social media, that I've left a single hate comment ever.
See, I love instigating.
You love
I
instigating?
love instigating. Like, there's people who are fat because of bad eating habits growing up, actual genetic disorder. Like, I get it. There's people who have it harder than others. Should it be paraded around? No. Unhealthiness should not be paraded around.
The original movement of body positivity, I think, was actually a really good thing.
Got hijacked.
It got hijacked.
Actually, my girlfriend was telling me about these studies, how girls try to sabotage girls who they think they're in competition with. Guys are a little bit more physically aggressive. But girls are more into reputation stuff. But no, girls and guys are actually completely identical, and there's no way of telling them apart.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Just wanted to make that distinction. My girlfriend's a real, like, girl's girl. Is that the term? Girls? She's
man.
very feminine.
Yeah.
She's a very girl. She's a girl. And I'm a guy. Those differences that people talk about are always present. And it's funny when people try to debate it. I'm like, no, like, look, I live it. I live it. I don't think we need to be talking about sex all the time. It's a weird obsession. It's become people's personalities. Like, look at this. How did you come up? How could you come up with this? Like, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Today I'm here with a repeat guest. We got my man, Justin Spears, president of the UofT Sexual Education Center. Justin, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yes.
That is me.
So, tell me about the dildo giveaways that you organize for the school.
Well, if you go to our Instagram, UT, was it SEC?
Yep.
You can see our wide range of selection, honestly. I was going to say, but no, the problem is seriously with that page is that a lot of the information is really good. Like, they provide really good, resources and, information for sexual health. There's a lot of stuff on, like, I won't go into detail, but there's good stuff for health, health help. But they sprinkle in some crazy stuff. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just a bit weird. It's just a bit weird. Like if it was a club, I would understand. But it's like part of the university. Mm-hmm. Like, what is that?
Yeah. You have to pay for it. It's in your fees.
Yeah, I pay for it.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not against any of that stuff. But there's a lot of money that could, like, if you look at how resources are allocated, that money could go to something a little bit more useful and a little bit more helpful, because I don't know, man, what do you think?
It's a complete shit show, in my opinion. So the reason Justin's not actually the president, by the way.
No, I'm not actually the president.
UofT Sexual Education Center. President of the Fitness Club, which is a much, I think, healthier club to be running than dildo giveaways.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, so what's my thoughts on it? I think that if you're going to charge students, I don't even know what it is. I think because that's the thing, it's not the only sexual related club or levy at UofT.
I didn't know
there's more.
But I'm not surprised.
Yeah, there's more than just them. Yeah. So
that's the obsession.
I don't know what it is. It's so weird, but at least I think they charge 50 cents per student, which sounds low, but when you think of it just on, I guess, the effect it has on you, it doesn't really have a big individual effect. 50 cents, what's that? But you have to understand that they're asking a total of what, $25,000?
I think I did the math, and it was something like $25,000 to $30,000 that they were getting.
Exactly,
and it's
insane.
One thing I'll say is, on a, fiscally, there's not a huge impact. It's 50 cents. I don't care, whatever. But how do I word this? So, the universities historically have been places where change is enacted. You have the brightest minds. You have discourse. People are educated. My parents went to university. Yeah. And, all great thinkers, a lot of great thinkers went to university, scientists. And it's supposed to be a place for intellectuals. Yeah. And the problem is, when you go to university, and let's say me, for example, I go to class, I work really, really hard. I try to get good grades, and I'm proud of what I'm accomplishing. I'm proud to be an academic. Let's say I want to do research, whatever. The problem is, with people who live in the real world, who are done with university, and who don't have to play this game, when they see what's happening in the universities, all my hard work, everything, it takes away from everything that I've done and the reputation of the university. So fiscally, who cares? The impact is negligible.
Yeah.
But I hear about it, and you see it everywhere. That the universities are out of control.
Yeah.
Like they're out of control.
They've lost their minds.
It's true. And so, people, when I came to UofT, I was like, oh yeah, I'm proud, academia, whatever, I wanted to go this route. But now it's like, what's going on? Like the reputation of these universities is tarnished because of what they're doing.
Yeah.
People look at it, they're like, this is funded by the university. Who's in charge?
Yeah.
What do they think? What is the mindset? What is the goal of people running these institutions? And if you look in the classes, if you look at this discussion, if you look at the way we're told to think and the posters you see and everything, listen, I'm not against anything that they say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I'm against some of the things, but fundamentally, I'm not trying to come after anyone for their beliefs, what you believe, who you love, what you, identify as in any way, who you think you are, that's fine. But I don't know, the universities are just getting a little...
It's way too much. It's way too much. And actually, this is perfect setup right here. I'm going to move the camera real quick.
Okay.
So the university has put these posters around campus, and we took them right on that door. We took them and put them in our room because we thought it was hilarious that U of T is putting these up all over campus. Let me bring this a little closer so you guys can see. This is everywhere plastered across campus. I'm going to go read it for you. It says, it says, so you want to sext your crush. Do you have consent? Consent is the ongoing practice of checking in with someone else and respecting their boundaries before engaging further with them. Before sexting your crush, try asking, how do you feel about sexting? Or do you want to sext?
That's great.
Listen,
That's
so...
I'm also the president of Consent Club.
Of the Consent Club, yeah. So let me just adjust this back, get back to my spot.
Incredible. But it's weird. Like, okay, I'm not against any of that stuff. I remember, I just want to make something clear because there was a little bit of confusion when I was interacting with one of your viewers in a comment section, and they said I was afraid. I can't remember the exact wording, and I don't want to misquote them, but I think the effect of what they were saying is that I was afraid or scared of sex, I guess. And I want to clear that up because I understand, like, people, you could argue. I see the argument for, us sitting here, for someone who sees us sitting here going, oh, this is so bad, whatever. And I see the argument. I see people coming and saying, you're afraid of sex. Why is sex so bad? Etc. I see the argument. 100% I see the argument, and I've thought about it. And the conclusion I've come to, because I thought, I self-reflect, like, maybe, am I afraid of sex? And I've concluded that I'm not.
That's good.
But for further evidence, I will explain why I don't like this, despite not being afraid of it. I think that intimacy in any form is magical. I think it's wonderful. I think it's vulnerable. I think it's whatever. It doesn't have to be sex. It just can be relationships, And
you keep talking. I'm going to close this window.
Sure. And sex explicitly, I don't know. It's something that I think should be, private. I think it should be intimate. And I don't think it needs to be paraded. I don't think we need to be talking about sex all the time. It's a weird obsession. I think that it's become people's personalities. Like, look at this. How did you come up? How could you come up with this? Like, what? Think of all the things you could make a poster about. Yeah. Self-confidence. How to be confident. You don't need to be so you want to sex your car. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, human relationships and human interactions aren't supposed to be planned and like just be vulnerable with someone. Go through it together. Go through, just be confident in yourself. You don't need these guides on how to, like, I've had friends who kind of look up guides on how to talk to girls, and it's like, go to the gym.
Yeah.
Be a gentleman.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Shower, and go live your life. But I just don't think that we need to be spending every minute of every day, and we don't spend every minute of every day. But you get what I mean. There doesn't need to be this obsessiveness over sex and gender and everything. And again, do whatever you want. I'm going to say this very clearly. Do what you want. I fully support anyone, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Do whatever you want. I just think that it's harmful to people when there's this weird, hookup culture.
Yeah.
And, what are you doing to men and women when, like, hookup culture? Oh my God! Like, what is that? I don't know how people who participate in hookup culture. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself when you're just this hookup? That's all you are. You identify as that at a certain point.
Yeah.
With me and my girlfriend, I'm her protector. I'm her provider. I'm someone who's there for her, who supports her. That relationship builds me up. But hookup culture, that breaks you down. What are you? You're just a body.
Yeah.
You're not. And listen.
You're being used.
You're being used.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't think it's good. And I think it's not good for women. It's not good for men. I think that this obsession with sex, I don't know. I don't want to be a prude, but I just think we've strayed a bit.
Yeah.
We've strayed a bit. It's a little weird.
I agree. I agree.
Wrong, though.
And we're not against consent in any way, because this is claiming at least.
So this is the whole thing. Oh, it's consent.
This is claiming to be a check-in for consent poster.
Yeah, go outside. Like, how can you not figure out I don't know, is that really a problem? Like, do people can't?
I have no idea. This weird misconception with what people are trying to claim is consent, because apparently consent at this point is so misunderstood across the board, where in Spain, I believe, they were trying to make it so that before you had sex with someone, you had to sign like a paper, like a form, like a consent form to have sex.
That's healthy.
I heard a take on this, is not my own take, that is actually how you get rape in the first place. Imagine someone, a guy is with a girl, okay, and they're about to engage.
Oh, and you force her to sign it.
Not necessarily forces her to sign it, but she signs it willingly, okay, and then they're about to have sex. The man drops his pants, has a tiny Johnson, a little wee penis, okay?
Yeah.
She no longer wants to have sex with him, but the sheet is signed. So the guy has free reign. The guy can do whatever he wants. What a freak show that would be if you brought that into place. I think that, I don't know, there's this weird thing, and what are they trying to prevent? Are they trying to prevent evil people who want to hurt girls, or are they trying to prevent the men with no self-control who just don't listen or can't read a woman, maybe? Because any man with a decent head on his shoulders can tell if a woman's not into him in a moment, right?
I don't know. I'm struggling. Apparently, it's a struggle.
If it's a decent man.
A decent man. It's hard.
Right.
It's hard.
So,
rare.
Yeah, it's rare these days. But I think then maybe there's a bigger issue. Maybe because men now are so fucked up to the point where they can't read a woman's body language if she's trying to back away. This is, I think, the problem.
Yeah, we're pretty online now. People are pretty online. So people maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think. I think people are just becoming so inside, so stuck in their home, online. Like, people they forget how the real world works.
They've lost the ability to recognize these social cues. So in a world where you have all these men who can't read these social cues, does this make sense? Because now we're starting to get to a point. This is starting to make more sense now if we're trying to control these dickheads who don't know how to read body language.
I don't think they're reading these posters.
Yeah, they don't.
I've never read a poster on campus.
Unless
I was tearing them down to put up my posters.
Yeah, for the
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, exactly.
But
so, I don't know, it's weird. I don't get it. And I honestly, I will say, I feel like I'm the wrong person to talk about the consent thing with, because I don't get it. Consent's been a huge thing since high school. Everyone's like, consent. to me, it's just like, yeah, 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. What's the confusion? How are we still talking about this?
Right.
I apparently, like, I'm so removed from it.
Yeah.
Like, I see consent. I'm like, what's going on?
How many people out there are struggling with consent?
Yeah, what are we struggling with, guys? Really? Like,
she wants to or she doesn't want to?
There's yes or no.
It is yes or no.
If there's any confusion, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get out. What are you?
Yeah.
How are you for? And listen, again, I'm not the person to speak on this. This is just my take. I think if you're having, if there's any confusion, just what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It's completely fair.
No, people are online now.
Yeah.
People have completely. I don't know if it was COVID or just social media, but people have
probably both.
It's like people don't know how to interact, how to act normally. Like, can I tell 2 quick stories?
Yeah.
So this is all in the past week, by the way. It's all in the past week. And it's gone to the point where, seriously, most times I leave the house, I have a completely irrational, negative experience with another human. And like, it's not even, like, it doesn't even make sense. I'll explain.
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, I don't know, this is all in the last 7 days. So story 1, I was dropping off a package at a Shoppers, like a post office, right? And right by the Shoppers, it's on Yonge Street. On a side street, there's a little parking lot. And there's like 8 spots or whatever. So I'm in my car, driving along, and I just park in the parking lot. It's right beside a Mastermind. Maybe some of your viewers know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's a little parking lot, and I pull in, and there's a woman walking across. It's not really a parking lot, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like a little area where cars park. And this woman was walking across, and I let her cross, and then I pulled in, and it's right by the Mastermind. And it's Yonge Street, so it's very busy. Everyone parks there. Anyone going into Mastermind, McDonald's, Shoppers, Rexall, whatever, they just park in this parking lot. That's kind of just what people do. And I pulled in, and my window was down, and I assumed that the woman had just kept walking, but she goes, like, seriously, she comes to the car. She goes, "Aren't you a little old to be shopping at Mastermind?" So okay, and then I tried to put myself, like, looking back, I'm trying to put myself in the woman's perspective. So she's walking.
How old is she?
Middle-aged.
Okay.
Like, probably a mom.
Sure.
Young mom.
Yeah.
And she, like, this is her perspective. She's walking. She sees a car pull into the Mastermind. And in her head, when she's checking, she's expecting to see an 8-year-old behind the wheel. She must have been. She must have been. What? Like, just using her logic. Yeah. For her to check, she would have been dissatisfied with anyone over the age of 12. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
So I'm shocked. I'm like, here we go again. Again, we're just doing these weird interactions. So I say, oh, yeah, no, I'm not actually going to Mastermind. I'm just dropping off a package in Shoppers. But I really appreciate your concern. I said that. I really appreciate your concern, but I'm just running into Shoppers. She's like, but this is the Mastermind parking lot.
Was she maybe a little bit like...
No. I mean, no. I think she'd just been in Mastermind. Like, she clearly has children.
Yeah.
I'm assuming... No, you know what? No, I said, no, I'm just running into Shoppers. And she goes, this is the Mastermind parking lot. I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going into Shoppers, but thank you for your concern.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm out of the car. And she goes, so you're just going to be a scumbag? And I told her, I said, ma'am, I seriously envy your worldview. Yeah. If you think that I'm the enemy. Yeah. If you think that a guy going into Shoppers is the enemy, I really envy your worldview. And she goes, well, I never said you were the enemy. And she's walking away. She's disengaged. She's said her, she's kind of... She's
talking to herself.
Took her dig at me, and then she's on her way. And she's like, well, I never said you were the enemy. Yeah. But it's like, ma'am, I seriously doubt you are downtown while these protesters are climbing up Mount Sinai, harassing healthcare professionals, harassing patients. I don't think you're there going, aren't you a little old to be, like, harassing these, like, nurses? No, you're up trying to attack me. Yeah. Parking in a parking lot. Like, what? Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just people are losing their minds. And then the second one, I was driving just on campus, one street down from college. I was trying to get on Spadina. And this one's even worse. And I was driving, and it's a 2-lane street, like it's a 2-way street, but when the cars are parked, it kind of becomes a 1-way. You you drive, right?
Yeah.
You kind of just pull over. You make it work. You make it work. And so I'm driving, just minding my business. I'm in a good mood. And I'm driving into one way, and I'm almost at Spadina, and a car turns, and he kind of has an opening because there's no more parked cars, but then I'm stuck in the one lane. Yeah. But I'm like, whatever. I don't even think anything of it. I'm driving. And then what he does is he pulls and blocks me. Like, he pulls in, blocks my car. Instead of just letting me go, he's now challenging me.
Yeah.
And I stop the car, because he's blocking me, and I'm just sitting there, and I laugh. I remember looking, I'm just laughing. I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be real. There's no way this is happening, like, every day. This is crazy. Like, how is this happening every day? So then...
He doesn't know you do BJJ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to fight people, but I was like... So I looked, and I'm like, dude, can you just... I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on? It wasn't like an accident.
Yeah.
Like, he was letting me through, and then he kind of just... He was like, you know what? I've had enough. And so he pulled in front of me, he blocked me. And I'm like, dude, just move. And I have my window, I always drive with the window down. And I look out my window, I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, it's a 2-lane, he rolls down his window, and he yells, it's a 2-lane street, buddy.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, man, can you just move? He goes, nope, it's a 2-way street. And I seriously, this is my actual thought process, I'm like, you know what? It's a 2-way street, I'm in the wrong. I'm the idiot. He's allowed to be an asshole because I'm being an idiot. Yeah. That's how it works. If you're being stupid, I'm like, you know what? I see his logic.
Yeah.
I see his logic. I'm like, fine. So I start pulling to the side to let him through. Like, I'm trying to, get by to hug the right. But I said, sir, you've pulled so close to me that it's kind of hard for me to turn. Can you back up a little bit? For your own car. He goes, nope. All right, well, I'll try then. I'll try. So I'm looking, the cars are inches away from each other. And I pull out, and it's fine now, but I pull beside him. And I go, dude, why are you being an asshole? I asked him. I'm not threatening him. Yeah. I'm not, because I was in a good mood. I was just like, I'm laughing at this point. When these interactions happen, I'm like, there's no way this is real. So I said, dude, why are you being an asshole? I'm laughing. And he goes, you know what? Why don't we go park over there and sort this out? Like, threatening me.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Do you know? And I'm looking at him, and he's got like he's middle-aged, and he's not in good shape.
No.
He's got like his weird haircut. He's got like his not aviators, his not Oakley, but you know Oakley does those cool the cool reflective.
Oh yeah, what are those called?
Like sport. I don't know. They look like Ray-Ban, like normal Ray-Bans, but with the reflective coloring. Yeah. And I'm like, dude. He goes, why don't we go park over there? Get out of the cars or whatever. And I was like, okay. I said, sir, please don't speak to me like that. I'm just wondering why you're being an ass. Why don't we just hop out the cars? I'm like, this guy's trying to fight me. Why is this guy trying to fight me? I'm just driving my car. Yeah. And I said, I can't remember what I said. I said, I'm trying to remember the chain of events. I said, sir, look at the way you're acting. His girlfriend was in the car.
Okay.
I said, dude, why are you acting like this? Look at your girlfriend. She's uncomfortable. Why are you trying to fight people? And then she's like, and then I'm like, guy, what's going on? And then he said, no, let's get out. Like, he's trying to fight me. And I said, dude, I'd whoop you. Yeah. I'd give you a good whooping right on Spadina. Yeah. But I said, sir, I'm not doing that. I said, I'm not doing this, but just so you know, I'd give you a good whooping. And then I drove off. But the state, what's going on? How am I being, people are trying to fight me.
Shout out to that guy if he's watching.
But why, sir? Why are you trying to fight me? And it wasn't like I was in the wrong. Yeah. It wasn't, I understand if it was an obvious two-way street, and I was just driving in the middle. Yeah. But there was no way anyone could interpret what I did as wrong. Yeah. And what he did is right. I don't know, man. But, what if I got out of the car? What happened? People don't realize this.
It'd be over. Well, you'd be in jail probably, right, for even touching the guy. Because we're so soft here that if you even lay your hands when someone talks shit.
I just don't know. People don't think about this stuff. Yeah. I try to be, especially since I started doing martial arts, I avoid everything. I'm like, nope. Yeah. People can whoop my ass.
You told me about that because you said your sensei doesn't look like he could fight at all.
No, he just looks like a dude. Yeah. Shout out Sensei Mike. But he's just a dude, and you're kind of he doesn't look like someone you could pick on. Yeah. But he's not 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. Yeah. On roids. It's not the typical guy who, the poster child of Scary, whatever.
What's his last name?
Cardass.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I had a sensei, Mike, too, who got He got accused of a bunch of sexual assaults. So I was wondering if it was the same guy
No.
under a different
I'm sure
code
Sensei
name.
Mike does well for himself.
Okay, good.
I think he's good on consent.
He's good on consent. Yeah.
But no. Since I started training, I'm like, nah, there are people like who could really kill me.
Yeah.
Like easily.
Yeah.
And I grew up a big guy. I'm a specimen.
How tall are you?
I don't know. I think I'm 6 feet.
Okay.
I think I'm 6'1".
I feel you
but I
might
just
be
say I'm
taller
6
than
feet.
that. I'm 5'11" and a half.
11 and a half.
So just missed.
I mean, I think I'm 6 feet, 6'1", but the guys who are my height say they're like 6'3". So it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Because if I say I'm 6 feet, people are like, oh.
Yeah.
And they envision me as shorter because the guys who are my height say they're tall. Anyway.
Right.
But like I'm a pretty big guy, and I grew up a big guy, so I used to be like, whatever, I'll give people a good whooping if they get my way. Yeah. But after I started training, I'm like, nah, I don't want to. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know, and it's just better to walk away. But this guy, I was like, nah, he's got a gun or something.
Yeah.
There's no way he's just. And I don't know, like you could see me, like it wasn't like it was behind a screen.
Yeah.
And you thought it was some little dude. Like like betting odds were he was the underdog.
Yeah.
A heavy underdog. I was a heavy favorite.
Unless he had a blade, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man,
pistol.
there's no way this guy. And he started it like that. Like he started like, let's fight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, dude, why are you being an asshole? Let's fight.
Yeah.
What? Let's fight. You've got a gun or something.
Yeah.
But part of me wanted to be like, all right.
Obviously, there's always that instinct.
Park over there.
Yeah.
Park over there. Because I hate that. I hate people who do that. I hate bullies.
Completely.
So part of me was like, all right.
Let's go at it.
Let's go park.
Yeah.
See what happens. Because, again, this whole online thing, I wanted to, part of me was like, let's see if he gets out of his car.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens when someone's like, all right. Because that's how it is. Some people, if they were in my car, if they were in my shoes, there are people out there, and I know there are people, I've met people like that, who will get out of their car and shoot you and drive away.
Another thing it could have been that's huge, like a huge problem in Toronto is car theft. So you get out of the car to fight him, his buddy gets at the back seat, and your car's gone.
That's another option. Yeah. So, but seriously, man, that like, and I almost told him that, like after the fact, I said, I should have told him, like, man, there are people who would, you say that, like, you have the same interaction. I drive off, they pull out a gun, shoot you, with your girlfriend watching, and then they drive away, and nothing happens.
Crazy.
They don't get caught. Police don't. I don't know what they're doing. They're wasting their time with other stuff. I don't want to blame police officers.
Yeah.
It's the higher ups.
Yeah, of course.
Police officers are there. If they had, I'm sure if police officers had their way, the streets would be a lot safer.
I agree.
But there's people telling them what they can and cannot do.
That's why I think being a police officer is such a dangerous job. I don't think I would ever want to be a police officer for the simple fact that it's a very noble job.
For sure, 100%.
In the perfect world, but when you have a government who is giving instructions that completely dismantle any ability the police have to actually stop the bad guys, then they could be used for evil because they have to arrest people who are doing nothing that's morally wrong, but it's just wrong in the eyes of this government.
Yeah, no, I'd love to read philosophy on that.
Yeah.
Because I mean the psychology, if you give someone power, give someone a gun and no one else has a gun.
Yeah.
Gotta be a good man.
100%.
Can't be. It'd be interesting because my grandfather was a police officer for I don't know a long time. Yeah. And he's a good man, but I would not want to be in his shoes.
Yeah. Especially nowadays. So
yeah, things you see, and I would not want to be a police officer. But yeah,
I think a huge thing that is the problem with the types of guys you just talked about, or the guy and the woman that you're talking about, and I'm seeing it a lot more with the online space.
And I'm sure he's a great guy. That's the thing. I'm sure he's a normal person.
I think he's just dealing with his own shit and releasing it onto the wrong person.
You can't do that. When I'm going through stuff, I'm not threatening people in public.
Exactly.
A lot.
Yeah.
Maybe occasionally when I'm driving, but
yeah.
I mean, it's just weird. It's just weird what's going on.
They have, the way I see it is that if you have certain key components of your life out of order and you are just filled with like self-loathing and hate towards life and you feel like life has done you wrong, it's impossible to keep that in you without physically crumbling. Right? So these people need to relieve some pressure. They need to offload all of the stress that's in their body. Like for me,
100%.
I thought about this more when I was seeing all the hate comments on Ibrahim's episode. I was thinking, I don't think in the 7 years of social media in the 7 years that I've been on social media, that I've left a single hate comment ever. Like really? Something actually going after a person who I've never met.
See, I love instigating.
You love instigating?
I love instigating. So I leave hate all the time. Not hate, but I'll leave comments just to instigate. But but there are people who actually do it because they're like furious.
They're filled. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. They're filled with some sort of like self-loathing. And they have to get some of this off of their chest. Like for me, and exact same thing with you. Like I've the key aspects of my life, I believe, are pretty in order. So I'm at a pretty good school. I don't think that's that important, honestly, but let's just add that in there because a bunch of these guys think it's important. So I'm at a good school.
Well, it depends on what you want to do.
What you want to do.
Depends on what you want to do. Depends on what you want to do.
I'm an econ, so I don't think that's the best if you're trying to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. Yeah. That's that. So anyway, good school. My girlfriend loves me. Me and my family are super close. If I want to share an opinion, I have a great platform to do that on.
You understand consent?
I understand consent.
Pretty important.
Your camera just died, so I'm just going to finish this up and then we'll take a break. I understand consent, absolutely. If I want to share an opinion, as I said, I have this. All these things are in order.
Yeah.
I don't need to offload any pressure. I can handle myself pretty well. But if you have some aspects of your life that are completely fucked and you feel like you've been dealt a bad hand, you're gonna let that out on a bunch of people who have nothing to do with that. And
I can speak from experience that's true.
Yeah,
I've been in situations for prolonged periods of time in my life where it felt like that. Like, why am I? Why are the odds stacked against me? Why are people out to get me? And it does cause that you develop this disdain for people. And you see them as less than human. You see others as less than human because, not less than human, you just value the way you feel that you've been treated. You feel like everyone deserves to feel like that as well.
Right.
And so it's a dangerous game.
You're trying to get things onto an equal playing field.
Yeah, you're like, why should I be a gentleman? Why should...
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the camera. Yeah, we'll fix cameras. Like the crabs in the barrel, if you see that. Like
yeah, for sure. Down. Exactly.
So yeah, quick break and then we'll just get back into it. I want to ask you a bit. It's been almost a year. Well, I guess it's been the whole school year.
Yep.
How's the fitness club going? How have things progressed? Have you accomplished things you want to accomplish?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Okay.
I have failed. I think short term, I failed because I was dealing with a lot of family stuff and just stuff in my family. So I was a little bit more removed from a lot of things in my life. But a bigger thing was at the beginning of the school year, I was reading or listening. I honestly don't remember, but it was Jocko Willink, I think. Willink?
Something like that.
Jocko. You know Jocko. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of your viewers know who he is. Some motivational speaker guy who kind of like I don't know. He's like David Gog. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter who he is, but he was talking about building good teams and scaling businesses and et cetera, et cetera. And the problem with the fitness club is it takes a lot. For me, when I was starting it, running it, it was all me. It was a lot of work, so I had to take a step back, and I was like, okay, I need to delegate a bit. I need people to help. And so I was researching this, how to create good teams, how to whatever. And I did this after I hired people, which is a problem. Not hired, but after I got my amazing staff who volunteered to help run it. But the problem was I didn't have any structure. I kind of just needed people so I could take a step back and figure stuff out. But I was listening or reading, and he was talking about, it was two questions. It was related to a business. If you disappeared off the face of the earth tomorrow, would your business still run? He said most people will say no. And in my case, it was no. If I died tomorrow, everything collapses, and there would never be, like, you would just die. I was the only one doing work before I had my staff, obviously. But even with the staff, like I wasn't giving them the right direct. Like it was my fault, but it would collapse. And this isn't a dig to the staff. This is just me. I didn't set it up right. And then the second question he asked was, okay, and if your business would still run, would it grow if you disappeared? because that's what you want. You want growth. Yeah. If you disagree. And I said, absolutely not.
Right.
And so I kind of took the year, as well as just it worked well because of circumstance, but I wanted to see who on the team and mostly who could just step up and what people's strengths were, who needed a bit of guidance, who needed a lot of guidance, who was useless, who could operate, without me. So I needed to do it was like a long-term study on kind of the dynamic of things, because the UofT Fitness Club, I don't want it to be a 3-year thing, because that's what's happened with previous clubs like that. With the barbell, it was a iron something. I don't know. It was another powerlifting club at UofT, but it died. And I don't want that to happen, because I think in the next few years, people are really going to need health. People are really going to need those resources, and I don't trust anyone else to do it right. Yeah. So this year, I was like, you know what? We did stuff during the summer. It was good, but I said, you know what? I need to step back. I made a mistake. I need to conduct a little bit of an experiment. I need to see what's going on. And as well as me being just unable to be as active and involved as I wanted to be. So I thought, well, great timing. So short term, we didn't do as much as I wanted to do. We didn't hit the goals that I wanted to hit. Some of those were because of just the university being difficult and circumstance. But I think overall we're heading in the right direction. I figured out a lot of important things. Figured out who needs what. I hope, who needs what, and how we can. So going forward, I think I've got a good idea of what I want to do. So I'm really happy with it. Really, really happy with it. Part of me is feels guilty that I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to. But long term, I'm happy with my decision. I'm happy with what happened. That's good. Because I think long term, it's going to really, really pay off.
That's good. That's good. I'm trying to think of what to do with this podcast, because once I graduate, I don't know if I should just end it there. But that's the same thing, is like, I don't know if I trust anyone else to do the job either. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the point is to kind of blast out and platform all voices of the college.
It's hard.
And it is hard, because
depending on who you have in, it could go disastrously
wrong. Exactly. And then it just becomes another arm of what's destroying university and only bringing on guests that agree with them. This is the criticism that was made about this podcast by who the knows. They said that when you post clips, how did they say exactly? They said that posting a clip of someone who says something controversial or offensive is basically advertising to the world that you agree with their viewpoint. And that's not true, first of all, at all. That's ridiculous. What they're basically saying is that I should only post the people that I agree with. What kind of shitty podcast would that be if I only posted and advertised the guests and the clips that I thought were right?
Let me just go back for a second. So they said...
It was the Ibrahim clip. Okay.
So the Ibrahim clip.
The big one.
Wild.
Yeah.
By the way. So they said, if you, by posting that, by posting something controversial, you agree with it. And it's bad.
Right.
So the alternative, is to not post it. So they're saying don't post it.
The alternative is basically only post what you agree with.
Exactly, yeah. I was just trying to work that out, because is that the conclusion, or is there a different alternative? But there is no alternative.
There's no alternative. That's insane.
Because they're not saying maybe, post it, but make a statement saying, I'm trying to think of something, but no, they're saying don't post it if you don't agree.
Correct.
With it. Which that's really dangerous.
Really dangerous, which is the exact ideology I'm trying to break.
And not only is it dangerous, but I think we're also kind of in a situation where we're a little bit narcissistic, where we think that everyone agrees with us. Yes. Everyone shares the same values.
Yes.
Everyone should be not everyone should be listened to, but everyone should have a voice. Everyone should have what's the word? We should accept everyone because we're tolerant. But it's like, but not everyone agrees with you.
Yeah.
And by posting that clip, people can see, oh, maybe, wow, that's a little weird. It's a little strange. To some people might be completely normal. And to some people, they might see that not everyone agrees with them.
Yeah.
And their values or their religion or their culture or whatever. And that's important. I think there's beauty in difference.
Yeah.
And it's eye-opening and it's thought-provoking for sure to think about different cultures, different religions, different thoughts, that's the whole point of the podcast, I'm sure.
Yep.
But yeah, there's just people just think like, people need to see this stuff. People need to see what other people think and their arguments for things that they, like if someone disagrees with me, I want to hear them out.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, no, they're wrong. I say, no, I try to prove it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Try to prove it. Seriously. Like if you clearly have information that I don't have.
Right.
Because you disagree with me. So I want to know. I'm trying to become a more informed person.
Correct. And this is something that Jordan Peterson was talking about never make a straw man argument out of whoever you're arguing with. So basically I don't know if that's exactly how he worded it, but it's taking someone's argument and like pulling it down to its weakest possible.
Like finding an exception and
sure, yeah, or just like basically trying to destroy what they're saying so that you can.
So it's easier to disprove.
It's easier to disprove, and it's easier for your argument to win and make sense.
Yeah.
But that's a clear sign of weakness. What he says is try to build up their argument as strong as possible, so that if you can still debunk it, then you've made a pretty good point. So
for sure,
yeah.
No, I totally agree. So people really criticize you. Yeah, I don't know. I would keep posting things that you think are controversial because people need to hear it.
People need to.
Not even if it's right, even if I disagree with it.
I don't agree with everything I post.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. And so there was a guest, Cam. Me and him disagreed on 80% of what we talked about.
Was Cam the Alberta guy? Alberta transgender?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's not transgender, but yes.
Yeah.
So he talked about all this stuff. I disagree with about 80% of what he had to say. I would still be happy to have him on for part 2.
Yeah, you should.
Because this is the kind of conversation that we need to have on camera for people to listen to.
Yes, come up with better arguments. Have him prepare. Say, in a week, let's do it. Prepare your best arguments. Let's hear it. I want to get to the bottom of this.
That would be fun.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. It shouldn't be, shouldn't be what it is right now.
Circling back, I don't know if I'd be able to hand it off to someone because I could not bear seeing the VoV podcast name be destroyed by the type of person who I was trying to change their opinion, you know what I mean, to be more open to all sides, to just go in echo chamber down the line.
That's tough. You got a year left.
I got a year left, and then we'll see. I might just blow it up, but
you can keep doing it on your own.
We'll see what happens, It'll be hard.
Though. Hard to find guests.
I'll think about it. We'll see. Yeah, it is better because obviously
students.
Easy.
It gets weird.
Yeah.
It gets weird if you're 40.
I'm not from UofT, but today we're with this UofT student.
Yeah, you're like 40 doing it. You're like Joe Rogan, but you're doing it with like 20-year-old kids who don't know what they're talking about.
That's funny. It's a good way to stay in touch. So, head of the fitness club.
Yep.
I know your girlfriend said she didn't want you to talk about anything too controversial, but what are your thoughts on fat models?
Oh, fat models. For what?
For like
fat
like
where?
Victoria's Secret.
I don't know much about Victoria's Secret. It's just like a...
Or maybe just body positivity as a whole. The whole
body
movement.
Positivity. Okay. Oh, body positivity as a whole. I think you should be... It's tricky to word it. I think if you... Okay, so one thing I will say, and I've heard this argument, is that beauty standards change and evolve. Right. Okay. So what the beauty standard is now isn't objective. Things change, right? So that's a good argument. People say you should be body positive, whatever, because the beauty standards are subjective and it's just our time. Maybe you're in the wrong time, whatever. I don't know. It's not objective, right? And that's a great argument. I like that.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to like obesity and being unhealthy, body positivity, I don't think you should hate yourself. I think that's a dark road to go down. When you start to really hate yourself, I don't recommend that. But are you beautiful? There's a lot of beautiful people, like internally, who have amazing things to say, who are beautiful people, beautiful souls. But body positive, should it be paraded around? No, unhealthiness should not be paraded around. And I think that if we do have beauty standards, why sell a lie? Why sell a lie?
I hear you. Yeah.
If you're telling people, like, if there's some things that you know, let's say you're a guy, right? And you're like, I'm having trouble with women. I don't know what to do, whatever. And, you know, a big social media company's pumping out, you know, girls love lazy guys who, I don't know, don't shower.
And eat McDonald's.
Or everyone's saying, you don't have to shower. That's, you know, body, you stink positive.
Yeah.
No, but I'm serious. And it's like, you don't want to be pumping out things that are harmful.
Right.
If you stink, should you be completely exiled from society? No, probably not.
Should you hate yourself? No.
No.
Should you make it?
Said I had to say that.
Should you make a change?
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like stink is good.
Right.
Like it should be like, no, maybe, you know, this is what girls want. Go work out. Go take a shower. Yeah. And again, like there's people with conditions. There's people who are fat because is fat a bad word? Is fat a bad word now?
I say fat all the time. I say fat all the time.
Oh, if you're like there's people who are fat because of, you know, bad eating habits growing up, like actual genetic disorder. Like I get it. There's people who have it harder than others. There are people who can eat and be super skinny. Like I get it. I get it. But everyone has advantages. Everyone has disadvantages.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an excuse. I think if you're fat and you're happy, cheers.
Yeah.
Good on you. That's great.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't like when people sell lies.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I agree.
I don't think that's harmful. I don't think it's harmful. I think that's harmful to people.
Yeah. I think that like delusion can only go so far. I don't think that most people can delude themselves into thinking they're beautiful when they're 500 pounds. It's a little crazy.
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Is that still going on?
Still going on, man.
I thought that was like a trend. I thought it was like a 1 year thing.
I think that we're getting back to normal.
We're just way past that.
I would like to think we're getting back to normal, but
maybe.
Yeah. What I think happened was that the original movement of body positivity, I think, was actually a really good thing, because what you had was a bunch of high level businessmen who were profiting off of the very lucrative industry of female insecurity, right? About wanting to look a very certain way. Yep. And whatever, Victoria's Secret model, boom, boom, pushing it out. Insecure, girls are insecure, let's push it out harder and make them want to come buy our stuff because we're the solution to their insecurity. So that was happening. And I think that body positivity started in self-defense against all of this somewhat propaganda.
Is it a fact, or are you just thinking?
This is just pure speculation.
Okay.
Pure speculation. I don't do research on body positivity. I have bigger things to worry about. This is just my thoughts.
Good thought.
So
it's noble.
I think out of self-defense, they were like, "Fuck the business interests, body positivity. We don't need to look like Natalie Portman or whoever has an amazing body."
Especially when the media and magazines and everything, they're photoshopping, they're editing, it's unhealthy. Like
exactly.
I don't know much about Victoria's Secret, but I'm pretty sure they're all underfed and malnourished, and they do stuff to look a certain way. Like that's not healthy.
Surprise me.
Like that's unhealthy as well.
Exactly.
And so I that's noble.
So that was, I think, kind of like the wall that they put up as saying, we don't, like, this is a lie, basically propaganda. You're trying to make us believe we have to look like this when
love your imperfections.
Correct. Yeah. Right. So then, but after that, it got hijacked by all people who are actually unhealthy,
who are lazy,
I'm talking like genuinely like 30 plus BMI obese, who wanted to hop on the body positivity train.
You know what? I don't even think it's those people.
Who is it?
I think it's just normal. I think it's that group of people who like to find victims. Because I don't know, man. I don't know very many people who are very unhealthy in any way, who are suffering because of their health, suffering because of their state of body or mind, who are like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I think that if you're really, really, overweight, I think most people want to lose that weight. I think most people don't feel confident, don't feel good about themselves. And so I'm not entirely sure.
No, I think that's actually a better
I haven't done
point.
a census.
Yeah.
But I think it's just those people who are like down with everything that we aren't.
Yeah.
We are we are the oppressed. We are the, what's the word? Outcasts.
Yep.
We're the outcasts, and we aren't traditionally beautiful.
Yeah.
We were never picked first. We were never this. So we have to go after everyone who represents what we aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's completely true. That's a good
that's
point. I think that's also why, like, if you think about the transgender movement in and of itself, if the transgender movement could only be championed by transgenders, it would never get off the ground because there's not enough transgenders. The reason that it's such a big movement is because half of the population is being sensitive to this group and wants to protect them as well. This is why most of the people who are defending transgender rights are not transgender. They're just they're people who are looking to protect the minority class, which makes sense more when you think about it. It's probably the skinny people even who are trying to be body positivity just to be nice. And actually, going off on another tangent, that's actually another interesting point. What is the girl in high school who is perfect body, who's promoting being obese? How genuine is that? Is she just trying to destroy the competition? Is she just trying to get rid of the competition?
Have you ever heard that joke? Everyone says Lizzo's beautiful, but if you tell your girl that she looks like Lizzo, she gets mad.
yeah, that's a good point. That's actually, I never
never
thought about that. Yeah.
No, but is it sabotage? Girls, I've read studies that actually my girlfriend was telling me about these studies.
Yeah,
how girls will sabotage or compete with or try to sabotage girls who they think they're in competition with.
Yeah,
because girls sabotage.
Yes,
that's a very feminine thing.
Yeah,
guys are a little bit more physically aggressive.
Yeah,
but girls are more into reputation stuff.
That's true.
But no, girls and guys are actually completely identical, and there's no way of telling them apart.
Oh, that's a good point. Actually,
yeah,
sorry.
Just wanted to make that distinction.
Yeah,
I don't want to get expelled. So.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, just disclaimer. Men and women are completely the same.
Yep.
And it's actually a spectrum too.
Okay.
So, just saying. But yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? I lost track.
Body positivity. Anyways, no, I think we made our points, but we can go further into that. Yeah, about like with these different dynamics between men and women when it becomes into like talking behind someone's back or sabotaging even. I think that, like, I don't know if I talked to you about it on the last episode, but girls love talking about people and guys love talking about things.
Oh, my girlfriend knows all about that.
Yeah. Does she?
We have that dynamic.
Yeah.
In our relationship. That's a problem. We're talking about people. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about? And then, it's my mom's friend's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's funny though because my girlfriend's a real like girl's girl. Is that the term, girls?
Sure.
Girl?
Yeah.
Or is that something completely different?
I understand,
She's
man.
very feminine.
Yeah.
She's very girl. She's a girl. And I'm a guy. So there's a lot like those differences that people talk about are always present, and it's funny when people try to debate it. Like people will say, "Well, no." I'm like, "No, like look, I live it."
Yeah.
I live it. It's not like a joke. We don't do it because I didn't Google far right wing views on men and women. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
Eye test.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. Like she'll be like, "Justin, why you like?" Because I'll talk about random stuff. Like yesterday, like the windshield was. I'll talk about like my car.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can do that, and then I wonder why. This, or I'll hyperfixate on a random thing in the street, like how it's engineered, or she's like, "What?
Yeah,
Justin, like, why are you so obsessed?" But then she'll talk about people.
Yeah,
and I have the same reaction.
Yeah,
and so it's funny.
It's interesting, and this is something I didn't actually completely realize until I started dating, because my mom I would say she's less emotionally inclined than the average woman. Not to say that she's not a fantastic mom, obviously, but she's like a manager at her company, like basically a second highest rank after the owner. So maybe I should say third. I don't know. I'm not trying to get her in trouble or anything. I don't know exactly, but you don't get there without having a bit of like a bit of an edge to, like a bit of that tough side.
They're called like masculine traits.
Sure.
I'm sure, right? Aren't they? I'm not trying to.
No. Yeah, no.
But I'm pretty sure that's like the definition. I'm not sure that. Like there's traits that are more typical in men and more typical. So they're more masculine traits. Not the women can't do it. It's just I think that's the traditional.
Completely.
Or the literature.
And that's the literature. Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And that's her. That's why she is, I think, in my opinion, as successful as she is. She talks about sometimes how, like, she'll come home and she'll be like, yeah, today I was in a meeting, 14 of us, I was the only woman. So, like, she's in these types of situations because of that.
As is my mom. Yeah, as is my mom.
There you go. So,
I totally get it.
When I started dating, I didn't date girls like that. I dated girls who were a little bit more emotionally inclined. I was like, this is a little strange. And so with my first girlfriend, I was like, okay. And then now with my second girlfriend, I'm like, all right, this is a thing. That most women are not necessarily like my mom. More women are like talking about these things that I couldn't give a shit about, but it's fine. You have to learn to enjoy it. Because when I think about compromise, I think about this type of thing. Something that I've had to try so hard in my current relationship to do is to speak with better tone of voice, because women care about tone of voice more than they care about the words you're actually saying. It's kind of
most people do.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange.
Do I compromise on tone? Is that what you're asking?
I want to ask, what types of things do you compromise on? Because if you wanted to talk to your girl like you would, then it wouldn't really work out.
So I'll say I grew up in a hyper. My dad, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, but my parents are the definition of high functioning. Like, these people are machines. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to, brag about my parents. These guys, like, it's real. Yeah. Like, there are people out there who are machines. Yeah. To a degree that most people never see in their entire life firsthand. Yeah. And my grandmother, who I'm very close with, she was a single mom. She had to work. Like, she was a hustler too. She has her business. Like, so I grew up in the women in my life were no BS. Yeah. There's not. It's like it's cutthroat. Yeah. It's real. So, when I met my girl, it was a shock at first, and it still is. I had to change, but the compromises I've made, and I don't want to call them compromises, because they're things that you do, and I'm happy to do them. I think a compromise, you're kind of
I hear you're saying.
In the traditional sense of the word, it's not. I feel like compromise isn't the right word, but
perhaps it's an adaptation.
An adaptation I make is you just have to be a little bit. And she's sensitive, and so you have to be more sensitive, and that's a problem that I have. I'm an insensitive person.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I grew up. That's just the way I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up. You don't get to be sensitive. Yeah. There's no sensitivity. My mom doesn't have time to be sensitive. Yeah. Or for me, my mom doesn't have time for me to be sensitive. It's like I just grew up. It's like, Justin, you're doing this, or Justin, this is how it is. Like, this is how you're not. There's no lollygagging. Yeah. Like, and so that's a real problem I have. So, and I still have this problem. I'm dating my girlfriend for almost two and a half years, and it's still something I struggle with, because I grew up for 20 years as an insensitive person. So yeah, I found that I have to be just more sensitive, and more sensitive, right? Yeah. When I'm speaking, and when she's talking about things that I normally wouldn't care about, I like to think of how happy I am when I'm talking about something she doesn't care. Like, when I'm talking about my car and how I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to drill this, or whatever, and she's sitting there smiling, listening, I know she doesn't care. Yeah, she doesn't even know what I'm talking about. She's thinking about something else. Yeah. But she makes the effort to smile, and she listens. She says, that's so cool, even though she doesn't get it. She goes, that's really cool. And that makes me feel, that really warms my heart. Yeah. And so when she's talking about things that I normally wouldn't care about, I make an effort to and I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
She knows I'm not perfect with this, and sometimes I'm not in the mood. I'm like, yeah, like whatever, like, or I won't give her the right reaction. You know, and I'm working on that. But I try because I know how it makes her feel, and I know how it makes me feel. A, when she does the same, and B, when she feels listened to. People like being listened to.
Yeah.
And I think that's really healthy to listen.
Yeah.
Not that I'm perfect at it, but I try. I try really hard.
I hear you. I think that something that I've been trying to get a better grasp of is the trades that you make in a relationship, if that's the right word for it. So it's adaptations, but I also like to think of it as trades, because if there are certain things that my girlfriend wants from me that I don't really consider a big deal, that I can give to her, and then there's certain things that I want from her that she may not consider a big deal that she can give to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about anything like vulgar here.
I was just thinking, because my girlfriend and I had a conversation yesterday where, what did you say? She wants
some things that she cares a lot about,
yeah,
but it's like not a big deal to you.
Emma, you know exactly what I know that you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
We'll leave it to that. There's an inside joke.
Just little chores. I'm like, who cares about this? And she's like, no, but it means a lot to me when you like do this or clean this.
Right.
Like, what?
Well, yeah.
Like, what? Who cares?
So for me, it's things like emojis and texts.
Okay.
So it's like a small thing like that, or like a good morning text message or good night, this type of thing. Yeah. And it's like, okay, a good morning text like means the world to you.
Yeah.
I can send you a good morning text. What can you then do X, Y, Z? And she's like, yeah, what? That's fine, whatever. I'm like, what a fucking trade, huge deal.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah. And I think this is kind of the essence of relationships, is that you make these adaptations for each other, because this is how we've evolved. This is why men and women are so perfect together, is because they not necessarily too religious. I don't know if you're too religious, but they're man and woman were made in the eyes of God. It's not that a man represents God. It's not that a woman represents who the God is, but it's
and a woman is
both.
made of man as well. They're the rib. I don't want to butcher it because it'd be inappropriate for me to speak on religion. I'm not an expert on it.
Right.
Yeah, I know even biblically.
Yeah.
Men and women are made to be one.
It's that symphony of the two when they come together.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was like Eve was made of
Adam's rib. I think so.
Or maybe that was after the apple. I can't remember. But when
no, listening to religious scholars here.
They're supposed to be one. Men and women are supposed to be one, and that's true. And I think that, I think that's beautiful. I think that if you're not making adaptations, you're not doing it right. You have to sacrifice things, and you have to do things you don't want to do, and you have to change in ways. You have to have more responsibility. People pretend that love is easy. People like to say, "Oh, it's so easy. Love is so easy." Like, no, I think it's supposed to be hard. Mm-hmm. I think if you really love someone, it's supposed to be hard, because you have to do stuff you don't want to do. You have to have hard conversations.
Yes.
You have to hold the other person accountable as well.
Correct.
You have to hold yourself accountable. Like, if they're not doing something, you have to, man up and say, "I don't like that you did this." Or
yes.
She has to, I don't know.
Woman up.
It's true, but there's. It's not easy. Yeah. It's hard, and I don't think it should be too hard, but it should be. It's not.
There's sacrifice.
Easy. Yeah, it's not as easy as people like to make it out to be.
Yeah.
People pretend that it should be. Yeah. There should be hard conversations. There should be arguments. There should be, sacrifice and whatnot.
Right. So if a single guy was listening to this and he's agreeing with everything we're saying, or a single woman, whatever, how would someone optimize to try to find a partner for marriage today? Step 1, don't go to the club. Or unless you agree with that, I don't know.
Get out of the club. Why are you in the club? Why are you in the club? For a man, I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know what women want specifically, but I would say if I were to give advice to a guy, and this isn't for relationships, but I think it extends to relationships. Do the right thing. Try to do the right thing. And try to do the right thing. have good manners, and laugh. I think that works. People try to be like, go to the gym, get your numbers up with girls. No, I think that if you try to do the right thing, have manners, and laugh, you cover a lot of bases.
Yeah.
Now, for a girl, if you're trying to get a guy, if you're a girl and you're trying to get a guy, listen to what other girls tell you to do, like on social media and everything, and then do the opposite.
Yeah.
Do the exact opposite, because they are sabotaging you.
Yeah. We talked about
the only women
sabotage.
who are telling you what to do are single.
Yeah.
None of them are in happy relationships.
Right.
No, but seriously, I think if you're a girl and you're trying to get a guy, I think try to be understanding of differences. My girlfriend went to an all-girls school, and that was hard for her at the beginning. She's like, why are you so different? Because she just grew up around girls.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're try to be understanding of differences, try to be patient, be his peace. Be his peace. There's 3 things I say in my relationship. So I say these are the rules: peace, loyalty, respect. If you get those, not rules, but that's the secret formula. Mm-hmm. As long as your actions are within peace, loyalty, respect, as long as none of those are broken, you can do no wrong.
I think I think
with a guy you can do no wrong. I think you can have any guy in the world if you're peace, loyalty, respect.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think.
Did you come up with that on your own?
Yes.
That's a perfect equation.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't want to take credit for something I didn't come up with, though. So I'm just trying to think. Peace? No, I think I came up with that.
It's good.
There's one more, but then I got rid of it.
I remember we were talking at the gym about that, but then we were also trying to think of what would be the woman's version of that.
Yeah.
My
girlfriend came up with one, but I forget it.
Oh, shit.
It was good. It was good. It was actually good. It was... Oh... What were the ones we come up with 2? She gave us the 3rd one. If we do the first 2, I'll probably be able to get the 3rd.
Was safety one of them? Or
protection? Yeah, in a more abstract way.
I don't remember.
Yeah, damn it.
Tough.
But the last one was really good. I'll have to ask her.
Okay.
And you can add it or something.
Maybe you text me. Yeah, we'll pop it up on the screen.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, sure. I'll text you. I'll find it. Because we did have the conversation. Because I sat her down, right? Because we went to the gym. And I was driving home. I'm like, what would a 3rd one be? Yeah. And I saw my girlfriend later that night. I'm like, we need to get the 3rd one. But it was good. And I think it's true. But for a girl, if you can just do peace, loyalty, respect, there you go.
Awesome.
You golden.
So this has been good conversation. Yeah. I appreciate it. We're almost winding down here. I don't know if the cameras are about to die, so I'm not trying to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
But if you have any final thoughts that you want to leave the people with,
Final thoughts. I'm trying to think of what's going on nowadays, so I can give it, have context for what I want to say. Yeah. Laugh more. People don't laugh enough. Mm-hmm. People are too upset all the time. And laugh and disagree more.
Those are good ones.
Based on what we were talking about. I'd say disagree more. Disagree more. But with the university students, disagree with yourself. Yeah. Think more. Try to disprove everything that you learn. Yeah. Make a real effort when you learn something or when you hear something. Try to hear the other side and make a serious attempt at it. And I think a lot of your viewers will say, "Oh, I do a good job of that," and I say I do a good job of that, but I don't. No one does because it's hard. It's really hard. So if you want to be informed and you want to, have an informed opinion of the world. Or not even the world, but just a small little idea. Maybe it's consent. Really think about it. Think about that idea and try to disprove it and try to disagree. But yeah, most importantly, just laugh. People are too serious nowadays. People are too drone-like. So.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Completely. I think that's a good point because when we were going through it, and then we were talking about how all the men don't understand body language, and for a moment I was like, wait, maybe we need this poster.
It's ironic that we're like these idiots. Why they didn't consent? And then we're sitting here like, what is consent?
Literally, like 5 minutes after I was making fun of it, I was like, maybe the men today need this shit. But
I don't know. How do you? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's for a different. You can have someone to dissect because I'm not the person to talk on it. It's too confusing for me.
I've been trying to do that more. It's like, how exactly would you go about that? I don't know. Like you said, that process of trying to get because your opinion's more respected too. This is something, once again,
no one can prove you wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. And it
takes.
Yeah,
because no one can prove. Every time I have a conversation with someone, I know more. I've looked into it.
And it takes time to do that. And if you can basically make their arguments for them before they can even say it and disprove it. So it's like people will say, okay, like if you're going to argue with me about something and you only give the reasons for why your side is right, but not the reasons for why my side is wrong, then I think that's a pretty weak argument. I think that people need to learn the opposite argument. If they truly believe in something, learn the opposite argument and go through your head and understand why it's wrong.
Well, another thing you can do is, and I like to do this, and this is how I go about figuring things out, is I ask questions. Because if you learn how to ask questions and you practice, for the listeners here who took Math 137, we learned proofs. And when you're doing a math proof, you can't just give an example to prove something is right. You can give an example to prove something's wrong, because then it's like, look, I just did it, it's wrong. But you can't just give an example to prove something's right. You have to be rigorous. You have to cover all your bases, and you have to find, while you're writing, you have to make sure there's no holes. You have to make sure that it's undisprovable. That's a word. Hopefully that's a word. Undisprovable.
Yeah.
And I think not enough people do that. Their arguments aren't disprovable. So I think they are disprovable.
Right.
And so if you can ask questions, and you can try to just have a conversation, ask questions. I think you can hold your own in any conversation, like any idea. If you can just ask questions, you can get a good idea of how you feel about something, and you can be more informed. You can learn from people, ask questions, try to figure out where the holes are in your own arguments, in their arguments. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
It's always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Justin Spears, the 2024 edition. Be happy to have you on for 2025 episode next year, if you're still around, hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not taken out by someone in their car with a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll stay safe just so I can come back.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you again next Sunday. Peace out.